And welcome. So season 7 is coming tomorrow, and I want to get some more theory crafting done. I didn't get enough builds yesterday. Uh, Before we get started, we'll go over the builds that I have created for season 7, and then we're going to dive into that. More theory crafting. Let's get started with the intro. And let's go over the builds that I have created so far. So for those of you who are interested, so I do have them in the description of the video if you guys are interested. First off is the Blood Wave build. So Blood Wave Necromancer. I'm kind of interested about this one myself. This is actually, I think, what I'm going to do for my starter. I'm tempted. I'm very tempted for the Barbarian Hoda build, but I think this one's going to be fun. So what is this build all about? This build is all about Keseme's Legacy, which is one of the new unique items. And Keseme's Legacy is pretty cool the way that it functions. It basically causes your Blood Wave to just like clap the target. You also get some pretty good Blood Wave cooldown reduction, double damage from your Blood Wave, tons of fortification, etc., etc., etc. This one's going to be really fun. I think the whole entire build is going to be fun. We're using like fast blood aspects to get the cooldown reduced on the ultimates. There's going to be a lot of ultimate bonuses, like there's the Vehement Brawlers aspect. There's also the aspect of Epoetic Furor, which are both like ultimate increasers. Overall, like the entire build is based around Blood Wave. So, I mean, that's how it functions. We're also running minions, though, so we're running minions and Blood Wave together, so that should be fun. The minions are really powerful this season. I don't know how good they're going to be, but it should be fun to see how well they function. You could, of course, modify this build, take the minions out, and just run pure Blood Wave. That's up to you. There's other ways that you could do it. I'm going to go ahead and put that link in the description for you guys. So this is the Necro Blood Wave / minion build. Now, of course, as always, these builds are not final. They're going to take some tweaking to get them 100%, but, you know, that's just the way it usually works. The next one on the list that I theory crafted was the Earthquake Hoda Barbarian, and I'll copy that one into chat for you guys, too. This is the Earthquake Hoda Barb. I think the Earthquake Hoda Barb is going to be fantastic this season. I think it's going to be absolutely ridiculous. If you haven't seen, this is built around the unique item called the Mantle of Mountains Fury, which basically gives you the ability to detonate your earthquakes, like as if they were like landmines, dishing out all the damage that the earthquake would potentially do. This, of course, is built around earthquake damage and building your earthquakes as high as you can possibly get them, and of course having as many earthquakes as you possibly can. You're going to be using Hoda to detonate the earthquakes, so it should be pretty fun. This build I had tested on the public test realm, and I'll tell you, it was absolutely insane. And I'm sure it's going to be even more insane on the live server because they made a couple more tweaks to it here and there. There's definitely a lot that you can do with this build, and this isn't, of course, by any means a perfect build, but it's definitely going to be a fun one. I built this one around the Call of the Ancients because they have this whole summoning thing going on. And of course, if you use the Ariat's Bearing Pants, you can get your Ancients to stomp earthquakes and create twisters too. So you basically get all of the earthquakes and twisters. Obviously, there's a lot of different ways you can make earthquakes. You can make earthquakes with the tech rune. You can make earthquakes with the leap ability. You can make earthquakes with the, which I don't know why I have kick down here. That doesn't compute. It should be leap, not kick. Oopsie. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Doot, doot, doot. Beep, beep. And I should be able to edit it, right? Yeah. All right, so that's supposed to be leap, not kick. I don't know why that's kick. So we have leap, which of course makes earthquakes with the Bolcathos. We have the stomp, ground stomp, which is going to make earthquakes with the earthquake aspect. We also, of course, have the call the ancients, which is going to also create earthquakes with the Ariat's Bearing Pants. So we get earthquakes that way as well. We get earthquakes from the Tech Rune, which is going to be another way to create earthquakes. And overall, we should have more earthquakes than any man can rightly shake a stick at, and will be detonating them on a regular basis with Hoda, which is how you basically build this entire character. Is you're designing it around spamming Hoda to detonate the earthquakes, which you are then creating, which you are then detonating, which you are creating, which you are detonating, and you're basically just trying to detonate as much as you possibly can. I was actually thinking about this. We could probably replace one of the Lith or Neo runes with the new rune that they came out with called the what was it? The Agni or I can't remember the name of it now. It's one of the ritual runes, I think. Not the Igni. That's a different one. The Nagu, is that it? Yeah, the Nagu is maintain at least one active summon for 5 seconds, gaining offering for each up to 6 summon. So the reason why I'm thinking that this one could be the way to go is because, of course, you can basically spam your summons, and each one of these actually does count as a summon, as far as I'm aware, which means that you could potentially have 3 summons on the battlefield for 6 seconds, which means that you'll get 3 times 100, which is 300 offering every single time you summon your minions, essentially. And I'm not entirely sure if these also count, like the minions on here, like the Vengeful Spirit minion, and maybe even one of the other ones, but we'll see. The witches' powers look like they're going to be absolutely insane this season, by the way. I think everybody's going to have a lot of fun with them. Overall, this build should be absolutely insane. Is it min-max to the utmost? Gills? No. But it will be eventually. It'll get there. I didn't want to like include a bunch of Uber uniques into the build. Like I'll take 1,000 Uber uniques, like a lot of other content creators do. I figure one Uber unique is obtainable for any person who's playing the game. So you shouldn't have any trouble getting your hands on at least one Uber unique. You should be fine. So one Uber unique in the build, I feel like is okay. Anything past that, that's you being hopeful that you might get them. Because there's usually at least one way to obtain one legitimately through the season, I guess is what I'm saying. So that's one build. Let's move on to the next build. So I got 4 that I created yesterday. I wanted to do a new version of my Firebolt build. So I did a Firebolt build with the Flameweaver gloves back in, I can't even remember, what was it, like season 4 or season 5? I can't remember which season it was. Absolutely had a blast with it. However, they made a change to the Firebolt enchantment, which made me think that this one could definitely be worth giving a try in Season 7. And it has to do with the enchantment power change that they made to Firebolt. Now, they did, unfortunately, nerf all the non-fire classes by changing this. However, they also beefed up the enchantment, sorry about that, to make it more interesting. And what did they do? Well, they made it so that it launches a firebolt at nearby enemies. So your Firebolt spammer build, like the build that literally makes 1,000 trillion billions firebolts, it's actually really freaking powerful. You're also going to be able to spam more firebolts with the Firebolt enchantment, and I thought that was actually really cool. So this could be a very interesting way that this build kind of gets launched into the future, so to speak. Especially since the first time I made this build, I didn't have access to the Shard of Verithiel. There also was not the tenuous destruction aspect wasn't triple, which is what it currently is. It's currently triple. They changed it. I don't know if it's been updated on here, but in the patch notes it says it was updated from double to triple. So this should be insane as well. And then combined together with things like the Shroud of False Death, which didn't exist when this build first came out, I have a feeling this build is going to fly to some pretty extreme heights, especially considering you also have access to the Witch's powers this season. So this should be a fun one indeed. That one is also linked. Then I have another one that I've actually been thinking about for quite some time. This is my Rogue Trap Grenade Spammer. So this one was always like a twinkle, a little twinkle in my eye at some point or another. And so what I had kind of messed around with this build was that You could essentially make a character that was a trap character that doesn't actually have to place the traps. The actual process, I hate to say this, but the actual process of placing the traps is rather arduous and honestly not very fun. Especially considering that sometimes the monsters just run past them or the activation time sucks or whatever's going on and they don't actually like hit the target. Um, I don't know what it is, but like the process of placing the traps themselves is like the part about the traps that I don't like. So insert Scoundrel's Leathers. Scoundrel's Leathers got an update this season, which made it even more enticing to me and finally put me into the Theorycraft section for a new Theorycraft for this particular build so that I could finally give it a real go. So what is this built around? Well, it's built around Death Trap, really, is what it's built around. And even though it has other mechanics to it, it's mainly built around Death Trap. And I'll kind of explain myself. So they added this line that says your trap and grenade skills are now considered core skills, which means that your caltrops, your poison trap, your death trap, and also your grenade skills, like for instance, if you're using, say, like the trickster aspect that gives you, caltrop, smoke grenade, death trap, receive your stun grenade benefits, but also like throws grenades, right? So like the interesting thing here is that everything becomes a core skill in the mind of the game at this point, which means that you can use things like Ring of the Starless Skies to enhance core skills. You can, of course, use Harlequin Crest to give bonuses as well. And you can use gloves that give core skills, so you can increase your core skills that way, which means that technically Death Trap should reach some pretty crazy ranks because since it will be treated as a core skill, it's going to get all the core skill bonuses as well as any other plus to skill bonuses that you'll have, which means that theoretically, if you play your cards right, let's say, for instance, you had a really good Ring of the Starless Skies, which is like a +4. So you got the original +5, you got +4. You can also get like +3 on your gloves. You can get +4 on a helmet, right? And you're already at rank 16, right? So now we're at rank 16 for Death Trap. Death Trap is going to be hitting pretty hard with this particular build, and it's going to be going off all the time. It's also going to gain our grenade bonuses. So this is something that the Trickster's aspect allows, which is caltrops, smoke grenade, and death trap receive your stun grenade benefits. Throwing stun grenades deal blah, 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 right? So now my death trap is counted as a core skill. It's counted as a trap skill. It's counted as a ultimate skill. It's counted as a grenade skill, right? So which means that I can scale it via all of those methods. Every single method I can scale it with, and it's going to get all of the scaling benefits from everything. Now, Scoundrel's Leathers makes it so that I can basically spawn random death traps. Basically, if you read it, it says, while you have unlimited energy from inner sight, your core skills have up to a 80% chance to spawn a caltrops, poison trap, or death trap, and it increases the core skill damage by 20%. This means that as I'm firing my main ability, which we are going to do, we're going to spam rapid fire. So we're going to set this up so we can just like absolutely spam it. And this is basically going to allow us to constantly proc on a regular basis death traps, poison traps, and caltrops all the time. Now, there is an internal cooldown on Scoundrel's Leathers of 1 second. They reduced it to 0.75 seconds. So if we take a calculator and we do like a little example here, let's pretend that I'm fighting a monster for 30 seconds. So we have a boss for 30 seconds. Divide that by 0.75 and we get a total number of activations of 40. So we end up with 40 traps. It's a 1 in 3 chance that the death trap will spawn. So we could, of course, divide that by 3, which means that we'll get about 13.33 death traps within that time period, which isn't bad. Could get more, could get less, right? And it should be very, very fun. Now, this build also has some other mechanics, like we're going to be leaning into the grenades, which is going to be fun. So we also take in the explosive verve, which makes our grenades count as trap skills. We're utilizing the various Paragon things that allow us to get additional grenade damage, like the explosive grenade gives us more grenade damage. But since our death trap and our caltrops are counting as grenades, they're also getting the bonuses. And then likewise, we're also using anything that's going to give us bonuses to core damage, anything that's going to give us bonus to trap damage, because our grenades count as traps. Our Death Sting counts as traps, right? So we're basically stacking all of the bonuses that we can potentially stack with this build to enhance Death Trap as much as we possibly can, because it has so many different tags associated with it. Caltrops is going to have a huge number of tags also, and Poison Trap is going to have a huge number of tags. We're also going to be using Scoundrel's Kiss with this build. So, interestingly enough, Scoundrel's Kiss is made for rapid fire. It's not exactly our main damage type or point, but I figure since we're using a rapid fire build, we're going to be spamming rapid fire. I don't see any reason why not. We could potentially replace this with the unique ring, the one that drops grenades. So this one right here, Saboteur Signet. Now what this does is it's going to give us free grenades, which are going to constantly go off. Just more grenades. We're going to have plenty, by the way. Like, let me just say, there's going to be plenty of grenades. So Saboteur Signet might not necessarily be required for this. It could be fun to add more grenades and to increase the size of the grenades. But overall, I don't think it's necessarily required to have, especially considering all the other sources of grenades that we have. But it could be something fun that could be like pulled in, especially if you don't have a Ring in the Starless Skies. Could be something you could use early on to add resource, because it does actually give you resource back when the grenades explode. So if you look at it, it says energy when stun grenades explode. So this could be a method early on before you get your Ring of the Starless Skies to allow yourself to restore large amounts of resource through the grenades exploding, which is going to be pretty easy to do, by the way. Let me just say, we've got grenades here, right? Which the Ton Rune is going to give us 1 grenade per 25 offering, and we have an ability that gives us 25 offering every single time we use a core skill, which means that every single time we fire a core skill, we're going to get 1 grenade. We also have the ability of the Explosive Verve, which is every single time that you arm a trap or drop grenades, you gain movement speed. This one's going to be nice to help you run around as fast as you can. Then we also have the Trister's aspect, which is going to be Caltrops, stun grenade benefits, and throw stun grenades that deal X physical damage. So our Caltrops and our Death Trap will be throwing stun grenades every single time they spawn. So we're going to get 1 every single time we use our Caltrops, and we're going to have 1 every single time we use our Death Trap. So we get stun grenade from Caltrops, stun grenade from Death Trap, stun grenade from our core skills, stun grenade just like everywhere. We got stun grenades coming from this too, which we might actually go with a different one to even have more stun grenades. So the whole general idea of this is just to enhance the traps as much as possible, add as many tags as you possibly can to those traps so that you can scale the damage as high as you possibly can. And I think I posted that one already. I think I did. Joy wants to know if I have any gameplay footage of the Firebolt Sorceress. Yes, I do. Yes. Of course I do. Everything's archived on my channel. Archived. My guess is it would be back in season 5, which would be pretty old at this point. So season 5 was like Let's go back further. Yeah, there's season 8 for Diablo 2. There's Diablo 4 season 5. Probably, I don't know. I can't remember which one was the Flame Weaver. I could always try typing in Flame Weaver. Flame. Fire. Fire, fire, bum, 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 bum. Oh, fire, fire. Here, let's do this. Diablo 4 season. Actually, it would probably be like S5 or something like that. Or It's always a pain in the butt searching on here because it wants like it's like Boolean searches. It always wants Boolean searches. Oh, dang it. No, that was definitely not correct. Beep, 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 beep. Hey, there we go. Diablo 4 Season 5. Okay, so let's just pull up a random episode of Season 5. Season 5, Season 5. Let's see what I'm playing. Should be pretty obvious what I'm playing. So this looks like a rogue. That is definitely a rogue. What did I disappear for hours at a time? What the hell? Oh, is that the day that I left my stream running? I like said goodbye, turned off the lights, and like left, and my stream was running. I was like, yeah, bye guys, see you later. Turned off the lights and everything. Like, did the outro. Yeah, I did the outro and everything, and then for some reason or another, I just left. I was like, bye guys. Bye. I'll see you later. Hey, I turned the lights off. What am I playing right now? I'm playing Trilogy, so that's definitely not it. Man, what season were Flame Weavers introduced in? Because I did it on the same season. Spam call. I did it on the same season that the Flame Weavers were introduced in. Let's see. Zoo Druid Ice Spikes build. I think. Why do I not know where the Flame Weavers are? Flame Weavers. You know what? I'm going about this all wrong. I probably showcased the Flame Weavers in the Flame Weaver video. No, not Weaver. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that I would have showcased them in this video right here. There you go. The sun was invading my stream that particular day. This is sunlight. Can't do anything about the sunlight. See, like the point of sunlight on the green screen, it messes with everything. Like I'm missing half my equipment. This is probably after everything was over and I was like dismantling half my characters. Anyway, there you go. This one should be fun too. All these builds are going to be fun. Now, I'm probably going to start building some more builds here too. So I'm not sure exactly what I want to do next. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about it. I had a little notepad here. Okay, so what else did I have on the list? The Druid Summon is probably going to be really popular this season. I'm not entirely. Druid's got too many problems. Let me just put it that way. Every single time I play Druid, I always regret it. I'm always like, oh, look, here's a patch note that says that the thing that I built my entire character around for this season wasn't apparently working this season and that they supposedly fixed it. And I'm like, you mean the thing that I literally built my whole character on wasn't even working? No wonder my character felt like doo-doo. Felt like the doo-doo. The doodus. And I'm sick of it. So like as enticing as the summon druid is, I kind of want to avoid it because I'm tired of playing the druid and them like one patch later being like, being in werewolf mode and gaining werewolf bonuses apparently wasn't working, so we fixed that. Sorry about that. Okay. Oh, you know the summons that were supposed to count as werewolves? Yeah, they weren't counting as werewolves. Sorry, our bad. So Drew Summon Druid, let's do a Summon Druid. I'll Theorycraft it up. I'll get it all ready for you guys and all smexy and everything, and you guys can have fun with it. But the yeah. So let's start with the witch's powers because we're gonna use obviously grow. Grow is very important to our minions. I'm gonna have fun on my necromancer. I'm gonna have fun on my necromancer, and that's all there is to it. We're using all the minions, so that's what we're gonna be doing. We're using the vengeful spirit, that is a summon. We're using the grow, that is a summon power. We're also gonna be using the frog, which is also a summon power, right? So we're summon. And we're also going to be utilizing the fire bats. The fire bats are also summons. These are all summons and they all count as summons, and they are very powerful for a summon build because all your summon damage bonuses are going to apply to these because of the new summoning unification patch, which means that all summoning damage now applies to anything with a summoning tag, which means that your poison frog servant, your fire bat servants, and your vengeful spirit will all still count as summons, and they will be extremely powerful. We're also obviously going to be utilizing the pants. I don't think there's any reason not to. They're absolutely insane pants. And of course, I'm on the Barbarian, which is stupid. I knew something was wrong. I knew it. Okay. Boop. Boop. Frog. Where are you, frog? Frog. Firebats. Where are you, firebats? Firebats. Okay, so we are definitely going to grab the Vengeful Spirit, the Grow, the Frozen Frog, and the Firebats. We're also 100% going to be utilizing the Pants, which is the Storm Companion Pants, which gives us ranks to the Wolves, gives us the ability to reset our abilities. It's a very, very powerful piece of equipment because it allows us to super reset our abilities. This right here, which is the Pack Leader, this basically gives us a huge lucky hit bonus to Pack Leader and makes Pack Leader super effective. So we can essentially keep our skills off cooldown constantly. And we're going to be using Poison Creeper, we're going to be using the Ravens, and of course we're going to be using Wolves. We're probably going to be using Cataclysm. I don't see any reason why not to use Cataclysm because Cataclysm is going to be really powerful for the first build. As for our main attacks, I have no freaking clue. I don't particularly think that there's a lot of like main abilities that are particularly functional on the summon druids. In fact, one of the things that might actually be a good way to go with this is just storm. So we go storm in general. And maybe that's what we do. Maybe we end up going through the storm side of the tree and we build a storm druid instead, because the other side of the tree is not quite as good. He's not good. Okay, so now that we've got this, we're definitely also going to be utilizing the Seh rune, which is, of course, our one that gives us our wolvies. So we're going to have even more wolves. So count this out, will you? We've got 1 Vengeful Spirit. We've got 2 Poison Frog. We got Fire Bats, which there's a lot of Fire Bats, but it says a swarm of Fire Bats. I don't really know how you can count those. Let's just count them as 1. So that's 3. All right. Then we're also going to have the wolves, which the spirit wolves, which are going to be very numerous in number because we're going to tie that together with the new rune, which is the Nagu, which is maintain 1 active summoning for 5 seconds and gain offering for up to 6 summons, which means that we're going to have like, let's see, 3, so like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I have like 13 summons at this point. So, let's get a little running tally here. So 13, right? So we've got 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 10 plus 1 for your Poison Creeper plus 1 for your Raven and plus, what is it, like 3 for your Wolves or something like that. I don't even know. I think you can get more than that, actually. So we're going to be looking at, like, what is that, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like somewhere around, like, 19 to, like, 25 minions. And you'll understand the 25 later. It's going to be a little wonky. So there's an aspect that we can use. It gives us Wolves. It's called Moon Rage. Kills have a 5% chance to summon a companion to your side for 20 to 35 seconds. This effect is a lucky hit against bosses, maximum 3 additional wolves. In addition, you gain 3 ranks to wolves. So this is basically going to give us 3 more wolves over our original number of wolves, which is going to be pretty powerful, so we're going to hang on to that. We're also going to be utilizing the shepherd aspects. The shepherd aspect is the companion skills deal an additional 13% damage per companion that you have. We're probably going to end up putting that on a two-hander because that's going to give us a huge amount of damage for all of our companions. I'm not sure if they actually changed that one to be summons now. I think they might have changed that one to be summons, which means it might actually affect our like poison frogs and stuff like that too. I'm not entirely sure. I'd have to check the patch notes. Do I still have the patch notes open? I do. Shepherd. Companions. Summoned spirit wolves from Se now benefit from your summon and your companion bonuses. So at least these Se summons have been marked to work with companion bonuses, which means that even the summoned wolves coming from the Se rune will also be affected by something like the shepherd's aspect. You see how this is getting spicy? It's getting a little spicy. We're also going to be utilizing some of the other aspects, like we need the what's it called? I can't remember the name of it. Wild Rage? No. Aspect of the Stampede. Gain 1 additional companion. In addition, your companion skills deal 35% increased damage. So yes, there we go. That's another one that we're looking for. We're also probably going to be using the aspect of the Alpha. The aspect of the Alpha gives us your werewolf companions. Your wolf companions and werewolf companions now deal 140% additional damage and can spread rabies. Now, we're going to be utilizing some very interesting aspects to get the most out of this build, and it's going to be a little strange. So, the Storm's Companion aspect gives your werewolves the ability to do lightning damage, which is what we're interested in, because we're going to go into the lightning side of the tree. We're also going to get lightning damage by utilizing the Raven aspect, which is the Stormcrow aspect, which is going to turn the Ravens into lightning damage, right? So this is going to make so that we have lightning damage from the Ravens, we have lightning damage from our Moonrage aspect, and we're going to scale these utilizing the lightning modifiers in the tree. That's basically how we're going to do this. So we're going to scale the damage of the companions even more through the lightning modifiers. Now, unfortunately, that means that the Spirit Wolves won't get the lightning modifiers, and the Poison Creeper will not get the lightning modifiers, which is unfortunate. But your Crow and your Wolves are going to be like your main damage for this build. We're going to be utilizing the really awesome Friend of the Bog, which is going to give us 10% to primary stats and maximum life for using 3 growth and decay powers. That one is absolutely amazing. We only need, I think, 1 more growth and decay power. So we're going to grab 1 more growth and decay power. And if I remember correctly, this one gives you primary stat, and it's a growth and decay power. It's called Soul Harvest. I think we definitely want that one. And then we definitely want an aura of some type. Doesn't really matter what aura we get. Honestly, the aura of siphoning is pretty nice, or the aura of misfortune. Either one of these works just fine. We're going to take the aura of siphoning. All right, and then we're also going to utilize the... I'm pretty sure there's one in here that's for summons. Yeah, that's right. Your summons deal 15% more direct damage to hexed elites. That one's actually pretty powerful for us because we're going to be a summon character, mainly summon character. So we might actually want a hex in here somewhere. I can't remember. We don't necessarily need the aura. So we can go with a hex instead. Let's go with the hex that makes things explode. I actually kind of like that one. That one's kind of neat. It makes things go pop, pop, pop. And then we're going to be looking at the other sigils. There's a lot of sigils in here. We probably want the one that increases our, I believe it's the growth and decay powers. Yeah, the potency of growth and decay powers, Toadling's Wish. I'm pretty sure that's the one we go with. So we end up with that one, which is going to increase, obviously, the Soul Harvest. It's going to increase the Frog, and it's also going to increase the Grow Power. The Grow Power is really the one that we're interested in. So we definitely want to make sure we're utilizing the Grow Power. I'm trying to think here. We kind of want... We might have to drop an aspect, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. We may have to drop an aspect. I think it might be this one, unfortunately. Having 3 additional wolves is nice, but the damage bonus that we could potentially get otherwise is also very nice. Which one do we drop? I feel like the aspect of the alpha is probably the one that benefits us the least, because we have so many summons that it's only targeting one specific summon. I think that's part of the problem with it. It does give us more damage on our wolves, don't get me wrong, but our wolves are not our only damage source. We're getting damage from our poison creeper, we're getting damage from our crows, we're getting damage from the wolves, we're getting damage from our summons, we're getting damage from the rune word summons. So it's going to be like a whole lot of summons. We also don't necessarily need the poison, so maybe the aspect of the alpha might be the thing that gets pulled. Maybe. Of course, we could also, even though I do think that the Shepherd's aspect on the main hand is probably the most powerful one, we could also move the Shepherd aspect to the amulet slot. And then we could move the alpha aspects here. We could take the Stampede aspect, put that on the focus, and then we can, of course, use the Cataclysm Ring, which is the one that I'm thinking of. The reason why I'm thinking of the Cataclysm Ring is not because I want the damage output. It's actually the opposite. I actually want the Majolnik Ring to cast the Cataclysm over and over again. So the thing about Cataclysm and this build is that with the Grow Power, if you read the Grow Power, the Grow Power says that after casting an ultimate skill, so you see how this bleeding in, after casting an ultimate skill, your servants, minions, and companions are empowered with dark magics, growing larger in size and dealing 45% bonus damage, lasting for 15 seconds. At rank 11, your servants, minions, and companions gain 100% critical strike chance while enlarged. So the general gist of this, and the reason why I think this might be more powerful than the other setup, is because if we use Majolnik, we could potentially maintain 100% uptime on Cataclysm. And maintaining 100% uptime on Cataclysm means that the Grow Power will be up 100% of the time, which means that we will have 100% critical strike chance for all of our companions and our minions and our summons all of the time, which means they will never not crit. I know that's a double negative. So they will never not crit ever, right? Which I think is more powerful than having a two-handed aspect. Now, of course, you could also say you could drop the Stormcrow or something, but I think if you drop too much off of this, you're just losing too much damage. The aspect of the Alpha, I think, is the only one that you can really drop because it's the only one that only affects one thing, really. And it doesn't really affect it all that much. The Stormcrow one is kind of necessary because not because of the damage increase, but because it converts it into lightning, and you'll see why later, because it's going to get a huge damage bonus along with everything else that's considered lightning. So if you look at our bar, we have Cataclysm, that's lightning, Wolves, they're lightning, Ravens, they're lightning, right? So we've got 3 lightning skills on the bar, and those are our 3 main damage abilities, essentially. So we're going to be running those essentially constantly. Then from here, we need a main ability. We definitely do need a main ability.